What is going on, guys? It's your boy Assassin back in the building with another build guide for you today. So today we are looking at the ultimate in-game Warlock build guide. Explosive damage is what you're in store for if you use this build. Now today we're actually kind of going over two builds. We have options here, kind of like we did with the Titan in the previous video. Check that video out, by the way, if you haven't already. We are going over two different builds, one for if you are trying to do in-game solo, and one for if you are in a group. Now, solo, we are not actually taking advantage of very many of the artifact mods for today, but if you are running in a group, I feel like many more of the artifact mods unlocked this season benefit you tremendously if you are running in a group. So, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, starting off, we are going to be on the Voidwalker Tree Top Tree Nova Bomb. This one gives you Chaos Accelerant. Hold L1 to charge your grenade, L1, left bumper, whatever it is on PC, to overcharge your grenade, making it deadlier and more effective. And we are using that with Vortex Grenade. Vortex Grenade pulls your enemies in toward it, and when you use Chaos Accelerant, it lasts longer and does more damage per tick. So that's why we're using that one. We're going to be pairing that with the exotic Controverse Hold, improved charge for void grenades. Now what that actually means, and what we're taking advantage of, is the exotic perk Chaotic Exchanger. Resist incoming damage while charging your void grenade with Chaos Accelerant, Feed the Void, or Handheld Supernova. Charged void grenades return a random amount of grenade energy on a hit. We're going to be taking advantage of this to try and keep our grenades up for as often as possible. This is the build that I would recommend you using if you are trying to do solo in-game activity. This gives you explosive damage very, very quickly. You will melt bosses, you will take down any yellow bars that come across your path with just a single charged grenade, and because of Controverse Hold, if you get into danger and you're trying to get into cover, you can start charging your grenade. That will give you increased damage resistance while you try to get into cover to keep yourself safe. And don't worry about having to throw the grenade once you've charged it. If you just change weapons, you hit triangle or whatever it is on your controller to change weapons, that will put the grenade back and you won't throw it if you're using it for that purpose. So let's go over the perks that we have on our armor. So starting with the helm, we have a recovery mod and special ammo finder. If I had a void version of this helmet, I would put sniper rifle ammo finder, because other than your Nova Bomb, the main source of damage is going to be Izanagi's Burden, which has honed edge. In case you guys aren't aware, you can hold reload and it will charge all 4 rounds of your magazine into a single super high damage dealing round. This is by far and away the highest damaging weapon in the game, so we're going to be using that for our main source of damage, and we want to always be able to keep ammo in it. Obviously, if you're charging 4 rounds into one every time you fire this, you're going to be running out of ammo pretty quickly, so that's why we have the special ammo finder. On our Controverse Hold, we have a resilience mod and enhanced rifle loader so that we can reload much quicker. This does have outlaw on it, but for when you do not have your you have not recently gotten a kill, enhanced rifle loader is also going to apply to sniper rifles. They count as rifles, so you can reload much quicker to get your honed edge shot. And we've got fastfall so that when we take advantage of the Chaos Accelerant and charge our grenade, we can throw it farther. Then on the chest piece, we have Recovery Mod and Breach Resonator. This mod is from the Seasonal Artifact. It says, grants melee and grenade energy on final blows with shield-piercing weapons, or when a member of your fire team shuts down a barrier champion's ability. Now, we're going to be pairing this with a pulse rifle with anti-barrier ranger on it, so that all of the kills that we get with this pulse rifle are going to help recharge our melee and grenade energy much faster. Now, last season, you paired the anti-barrier mods with Nezarec Sin, and you could get your grenade back in like 3 to 4 kills. It's not quite as effective as that, but when paired with the random amount of grenade energy returned on a grenade kill from Controverse Hold, it can be very, very effective. It can be nearly as effective as it was last season. Onto the boots, we have a recovery mod, and we have Sniper Rifle Scavenger. This is, again, kind of reinforcing that you always want to have special ammo for your Izanagi's Burden, because once you fire off your Nova Bomb, it's going to be a little while before you get it back, and you'll be throwing grenades and doing damage with your Izanagis. And then onto the Bond, we have a recovery mod, Special Ammo Finisher, so that when you do a finisher, you can get special ammo at a cost of 1/3 your super. Once again, this is a last resort. We already have Scavenger and Ammo Finder mods on to try and mitigate this, but just in case, the boss is one Izanagi shot away from death, you can sacrifice a bit of your super, do a finisher, get some special ammo for Izanagis, and take the boss down. And we've also got a distribution mod. Distribution gives you ability cooldown for all of your abilities when you use your class ability, so when you use your Rift on the Warlock. And we have pretty high resilience, or recovery, so we should have a Warlock Rift ready pretty much at all times. It's every 51 seconds, and that's not including the distribution mod. So this is the build that I would suggest that you use if you are trying to do endgame solo. Now, if you are going to try and go in with a team, I have a much better build for you that takes advantage of many more of these seasonal artifact mods. This build is going to be very similar to the build that I showed off on the Titan previously. So we are going to go with Middle Tree Dawnblade. I know that there are a lot of builds online taking advantage of Top Tree Dawnblade, but in terms of end game, the super itself just doesn't really do enough damage for it really to be viable to me. I feel like you would get much more out of having a Well of Radiance to keep yourself and your teammates alive. And as well, we are still going to be pairing that with Sunbracers. Everybody online is using Sunbracers with the new Top Tree Dawnblade melee attack from the air. Well, I mean, you can launch it from anywhere, but they're using it from the air to keep heat rises up. We are going to be using it with the regular Middle Tree Dawnblade melee attack so that we can get a whole bunch of solar grenades to constantly be throwing down shields for our allies whenever a enemy comes into range. You are not going to be going out of your way to take advantage of this, but of course, all of the time in every activity, the ads are going to run up on you. There's usually, if you're in a Master Nightmare hunt, when the boss spawns those the solar shielded enemies, when they run up in your face, you can hit them, and you are on a solar class with a solar melee, so that will take down the shield, and then you can proc Sunbracers if you go on to finish them with that melee attack, and you can throw down your charged grenades everywhere to give 3 or 4 different shields out there for your allies to take advantage of. So that is what we are using it for here. On the chest piece, we are going to change off of Breach Refractor, and we are going to use, by far and away, my favorite mod from this season, Tenderizer. Guys, if you have not checked this out, please go check this out. Slap on the Tenderizer mod, go into the Sundial or any endgame activity where you've got unstoppable champions, stagger them, and just watch them melt. Your teammates get a huge buff. I still have not seen a video on exactly how much of a buff this is, but but I know it is ridiculous. You feel the difference when you use this mod. In addition to that, we are going to go ahead and throw on Molten Overload just in case we come across anything that is doing a lot of damage and you just want to disrupt them and kind of lower that damage. On the boots, we no longer need Sniper Rifle Scavenger, so we are going to go ahead and just swap this out for your general Special Ammo Scavenger. And then, onto the Bond, we are going to get rid of Absolution, or Distribution, and we're probably going to go ahead and switch this to a Resilience mod, so that we can put on, maybe. Let's take off Special Ammo Finisher. Solar Plexus. This will help us take advantage of our exotic here, the Sun Bracers, so that when those enemies run up in your face and you hit them with the melee, it's much more likely to kill them right off the bat. Again, not really emphasizing the Solar Plexus or the Sun Bracers with this build. This is kind of just an added bonus. What we are really going for is Tenderizer. You are going to be hunting down those unstoppable champions and using unstoppable rounds to stagger them. As soon as you stagger them, you will see the difference. Your allies are going to melt that boss once it's staggered. We're pairing that with Divinity. This is the raid exotic that gives any enemies that you do sustained damage to with this weapon a giant crit spot, and it debuffs them by 30%. So once again, just like with the Titan build, if you do the math on this, if you stagger your unstoppable champion, that is going to proc Tenderizer and give you, on the low end, a 20% buff. I'm certain it's more than that, but let's just say 20%. And then with Divinity, you are going to weaken that enemy by 30%. So that is a 50% buff to your allies. So I would have your allies run Izanagi's Burden, and any unstoppable champion you come across is going to be dead in 0.5 seconds. This is the end game build that I would use if you are going in with a team. Once again, I would go back to Top Tree Nova Bomb with the Controverse Hold if you're planning to try and do things solo, just because at that point you're not going to be able to take advantage of Tenderizer because you don't have allies. You're not going to be able to take advantage of Divinity because who's going to use the crit spot while you're shooting Divinity? So for that situation where you're going in solo, I would definitely try to stick with Izanagi's Burden and a high damage dealing super with the exotic that gives you back your grenades much more frequently. But yeah, this is the Warlock endgame build. No matter which one of these two builds you choose, the enemies are going to experience a really bad day. Explosive damage. If you're on the solo build, the damage is coming from you. If you are on this build here for a team, the damage is going to be coming from your allies. But either way, no matter which of these two builds you use, the enemies are going to have a rough time trying to stay alive. So that is it for today's video, you guys. If you enjoy the content, please do like and subscribe. Any support you can give would be greatly appreciated. Feel free to go to my channel and check out a couple of the other build guides that we put up. We're definitely going to be focusing more on build guides. I will be continuing to stream on Twitch for anyone who's interested in seeing that. But that is going to be it for today. I appreciate all support, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.